The Arcadia, built in 1888 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin by the Milwaukee Shipyard Company. This single-deck wooden-hulled steam barge had a single-screw propeller and one mast that would push her along. She would have a steam firebox boiler built within her as well for her steam engine. The Arcadia would have a length of 118 feet, a beam of 26, and a depth of 9. She also had a gross tonnage of 233 tons, and she could carry a net tonnage of 146. She would be originally owned by the Starkey brothers, Henry from Arcadia, Michigan, and William Starkey from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. These two brothers would primarily use her for the lumber trade between Arcadia, Michigan, and Chicago. On November 5th of 1896, she would actually wash ashore on the Michipicoten River on Lake Superior. The Starkey brothers would own the Arcadia from 1888 to 1894. William Starkey would end up selling his share to Henry, who would then transfer the ownership of the vessel to the family's lumber company. And then, come May of 1906, following a terrible fire at the Starkey Land and Lumber Company, Captain Harry May would own the Arcadia after that. The vessel would be sold to Captain May of Cleveland, Ohio. From what I could find, the Arcadia wouldn't have that many accidents. In total, the Arcadia would have 19 years of good service. However, all of that would change on April 16th of 1907. Now, in this next section of the video, it may be a bit harder to definitively say what led to the demise of the Arcadia. And what I mean by that is, when did she sink, and what were the events that led to her sinking? Now, when doing my research into the Arcadia and what happened to her, I found a few different things, and they were a bit all over the place, and different things claiming and saying different things. Now, I had previously said in the earlier section that she sank on the 16th. However, since then, I came across quite a few other sources claiming different dates, some ranging from the 12th of April to the 14th. I even found another source that said she may have sunk on the 20th of April. Now, with that being said, I would like to give my honest opinion and what I think may have happened to her. While doing my research and looking through sources, I was able to confidently come to at least one or two conclusions, in my opinion, about the Arcadia. I believe before the Arcadia would end up sinking out on Lake Michigan, that she would be taking on a massive load of lumber aboard her, and this may have contributed to her being top-heavy. The Arcadia was said to be leaving from Manistee to Milwaukee, when, as she was out on the lake, she would encounter heavy seas and possibly a storm as well, although other sources did say that the weather was fair when the Arcadia was last seen out on the lake, no more than 20 miles per hour possibly. Although I do myself lean more closely to a storm breaking out on Lake Michigan, or at the very least, heavy seas, leading to her being overwhelmed and sunk. Now, the other thing I do firmly believe and agree on is the Arcadia would lose crew members aboard her. Whether or not it was her entire crew is up for debate, but she definitely lost crew members. Possibly 11 would be lost when she would sink off of Big Sable Point on Lake Michigan. I only came across one source that vaguely said nobody was lost aboard her, so I disagree with that. But I figured I'd mention it just 'cause. In fact, evidence suggests that she very much did lose crew members aboard her. It is unfortunate, though, that historical records from that time are a bit hard to come across or find. Now, the last thing I will say about the unfortunate loss of the Arcadia is she has never been found. I did read that a few times she was mistook for a few shoreline wrecks on Lake Michigan. However, it was not confirmed to be her. And, as of the recording of this video, the Arcadia is still lost on the bottom of Lake Michigan. And that is the story of the wooden lumber barge Arcadia, lost on Lake Michigan. Well, right off the bat, I just want to tell you guys, I really stretched myself hard on this one, trying to find cohesive accounts of what happened to her. I'm not kidding you guys when I would find so many contradictory sources, one claiming one thing, one claiming another thing. And you know, that doesn't surprise me, honestly, with historical records being spotty or possibly lost or unknown, or I am totally up for correction on this too, if they are still out there and they just haven't been looked into by anybody or disclosed to the public. Obviously, this happened a long time ago, but yeah, this one, I wanted to do a video on this one because I know there were people lost on it. That was what the sources were saying. People were lost on this wreck. What sank her? It had to have been heavy high seas. Whether or not it was a quote-unquote storm on the lake, that's up for debate. Whether or not she was overloaded with lumber or she was only partially loaded and that didn't contribute to her sinking, that's up for debate. I lean more towards her being overwhelmed at least by the waves. The size of the waves on Lake Michigan are no joke. I think she was probably overwhelmed and swamped and probably capsized, and that was it. That's my honest opinion on what happened to her from just going through everything that I could find about her and her loss. And, you know, I could be totally wrong on this, and some new evidence will come to light about her and what happened to her, or she could be found by shipwreck hunters here in the near future. We don't know. There's a lot that could have happened to her, but she definitely is gone. And I did find one other thing here. I'll mention one of the victims, a Miss Minnie E. Enough, if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. I will put this source in the description below. She, from what I could tell, was a cook, age 17, and she may have been buried at the Holy Rosary Cemetery in Grand Marais, Michigan. But see, with that, I would also at times find things, and these I knew were wrong, saying that the Arcadia sank in Lake Superior near Grand Marais. Yeah, it's a lot, guys. But hey, you know, it's interesting. I love everything about this history that has come and gone. Please do tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you are able to find more cohesive, a more cohesive series of timelined events and what happened to her, please let me know, because I would be very interested to know what you guys know, or if you perhaps have something that can lend to a clearer picture through somebody you know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This is the best I could do for this video, and ultimately though, I hope this was respectful and honoring to the lives that were lost on this vessel, and may she never be forgotten. Her song of the Great Lakes is always equally important to all others. But with that being said, everybody, I thank you so very much for joining me on today's episode. If you feel I deserved it, please leave a like, comment, anything, even subscribe if you really enjoy this kind of content below. And I thank you all for being here. And I'm working on some more interviews coming. I've got a few more interviews with people coming up here soon, but due to scheduling and stuff, it looks like I won't be able to record these interviews till later in the fall time. They're definitely happening. It's just a lot of people are busy, and that makes sense right now in this time of year. People are out on the water or out doing other commitments. And come fall time, when stuff begins to slow down, I'll be definitely bringing you guys some really good interviews with some really awesome, incredible people. So definitely keep an eye out for that when that comes. So, God bless you all. I hope you're all doing well. And again, look forward to the next episode on Songs of the Great Lakes.